All right. Well, let's call the meeting to order of the Library Board of the City of Muskego. It is 5:02 p.m. on October 15th. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Wolf.
Here.
Camille.
Here.
Tracy.
Here.
Gail.
Here.
Aaron.
Here.
Tony.
Here.
And, Michelle. Wow. I went through every M now. Whew, all right. All right.
So what we're missing, Jordan.
Jordan is absent, and Barb is absent. And this meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law.
Great, thank you. Public comment, not seeing anybody from the general public this evening. Consent agenda, looks like 2 items under that agenda. One being the approval of minutes from the September 17th, 2019 meeting, and the second to place on file the library financial reports for the month of September 2019. So at this time, I will entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda items.
Motion.
Tracy, thank you. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Camille, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Passes unanimously. President's report. No formal report. I promise you one of these days we will change that. So I'll get into the director's report.
All right. I'm going to be rather concise. You know, this it's here. As stated, I want to make sure that I'm managing the time properly so that we can run the focus group with the time that it needs. So I'll just highlight one thing. Let's see. We had several librarians go to WLA, which is the Wisconsin Library Association Conference, which is really exciting timing because, of course, they're going to bring back ideas. So as we're finishing up the strategic plan, they may have some new ideas from our partners throughout the state. So that's great. Our antique appraisal program is coming up next Saturday, and last time I checked, we still have some spots open, so if you have something special in your house that you would like appraised, that's always a fun and exciting endeavor. National Friends of the Library Week is next week, so we've already taken the time to thank the Friends of the Library, but if you happen to see one of our Friends members running around, please tell them thank you for all of their support and effort. Let's see. Our children's and teen librarians have been doing quite a bit of programming, so you're going to see a lot of really unique and fun stuff that they've been up to. Let's see. Dates of note. The next library board meeting is November 19th. November 8th, the library will be closed all day for an in-service. Strategic Planning Committee met October 3rd to go over a draft of the plan. We are meeting again after this meeting to continue to prepare the draft for review at the November full board library meeting. And then that leads me to item C, which is the December meeting. So last year we weren't quite able to make a quorum and we had to cancel the December meeting. So I wanted to find out, that's December 17th, is that a date that people feel like they're going to be in town and can make, just so that I can sort of plan on whether or not to put the vote for the strategic plan on the December agenda or just plan on it being in January. So how are people feeling? Maybe show of hands about...
I'm available on that date. I checked my calendar, so I'm available.
way too far in advance.
Sure, that's fair. I guess what I would request for the good of the group is as we get towards December, think if you know you're not going to be able to make it, just email me. That way I can let the rest of the board members know early on. So if Camille's like, I was going to go to Cabo, but I'm staying for the board meeting, now then she can go. Right. So, just, and maybe I'll send out an email prompt just sort of saying in December, how are we feeling about the date? I'll do that.
Depends on how buried and far behind we are in the holidays. That's
right,
the other.
You never know. Our parking lot, boy, that project, it was rained out, and then it was rained out. There was so much fun.
I saw it blocked off.
Yep, but we're done now, so that's great. And you'll see there was the addition of 2 crosswalks. I made an executive decision, which is what you hired me for. I ended up spending about $500 more than what we had said. Still well within the budget.
Who paid for the parking lot lines? You did. You had the guys that did the painting out there do it.
Yep.
Okay, because I know the city does painting of crosswalks too.
Yeah. They. I had talked with Scott beforehand,
Okay.
and he had referred me to a company for that project. They had quite a bit going on. I know.
Because I know they're behind on painting out there right now.
Yep. I added 2 crosswalks, and that came about from the security assessment. I walked through with a police officer and just asked him what we could do to make the building and property safer, and he recommended that. And then not 2 days later, we had a child run out, and it was, I wasn't there, but I heard it was a close thing, and so that really spurred me to get those crosswalks added. It was a good not a good reinforcement. It was an important reinforcement of what the police officer had said. So again, still well within our budget for overall capital projects, so not a concern from a budget standpoint. But I'm excited about those crosswalks being added. We're going to add some signage to again make sure that the pedestrians have a safe walkway.
Maybe you can get on the city's list. I believe they do every fall crosswalks. So maybe if you talk to them, they can come and repaint them in fall.
Oh, that's good to know.
So that they'll be visible.
Fresh.
Mm-hmm. I will make a note of that right now. So
Yeah, Ryan. I want to.
Yep.
I don't know if you talk to Scott. I don't know. I know Ryan does, but
yeah.
Scott might have to approve it. I don't know.
Ryan was very helpful with me in DPW. He helped me. I'd asked for extra handicap accessible signs for because when our lot was half closed, we lost all of those spots. So he brought over some of those, and he brought me some extra cones so we could create pedestrian walkways so pedestrians weren't walking in the streets. So Ryan was very helpful. I appreciate his support in that project. Okay, let's see. The Culver's fundraiser was a success. We don't have an exact dollar amount yet, but the Culver's manager, we were thanking them, and they said, no, thank you. This was the most successful fundraiser we've had.
It sure was.
A lot of French fries. So what I took that to mean is, and when we talked to everyone who was there, I was walking around, I think one person said, oh, this supports the library? Great, didn't know that. I was just here anyway. But almost everyone else was there because of the library. And so that's just a good sign of the reach of the community and the marketing and the support that people have. As a funny aside, I ordered ice cream, and this really young man came up to me and said, I made a mistake. He said, I put too much fudge in your ice cream. And I said,
How is that possible? How is that possible, right? It's not a mistake.
How did you take it out?
I do not consider that a mistake.
I said, no, this is not a problem on this end of the table. If you consider that.
Maybe they wanted to sweeten you up over there.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see.
I'm just curious what the delay is in finding out the amount, because
That's how they are.
Culver's is that way, or okay.
Culver's.
It seems like a long time.
Yeah, I've dealt with them.
What their revenues are, wouldn't you?
Nope. You won't find out for about a month.
Wow.
That's good to know because we've been very curious.
Yeah. Nope, they're not fast with that.
And I forgot to write this down, but September was Get a Library Card Month, and we made 184 new cards this month. Last year in September, we made 81. So all the marketing that Circulation did and the excitement that they drummed up really reflected in a bunch of new cards. So that's really exciting
Oh.
as well.
And that's in October so
It was
far?
September.
September,
Yep.
184.
For new cards as opposed
Wow.
to 81 the previous year. So really,
Nice.
really good publicizing and excitement around that. Any other questions about anything that I can?
Is the library closed on Columbus Day?
No.
They're not. Okay. Just curious.
In fact, I was just at the bank and we were talking about this. A couple of Wisconsin-oriented banks were open for Columbus Day. Because somebody thought Landmark was open. We were talking this collectively and not everybody knew 100%. Somebody said Midwest Bank Midwest. I don't know what it's called. But of course PNC was closed or whatever. So anything that's Wisconsin-oriented, I guess, if they only have offices in Wisconsin, maybe they're open. And that's why we're open, and all that kind
I
of
wonder
thing
if it's the
too.
ones that are in the supermarkets, because they're open on Saturdays and Sundays, I think. I know they're open Saturdays, but I think they're open Sundays. I don't know.
Yeah, because it was really
So it might be
strange.
the ones in
Because, of
the
course, I went to the post office, forgetting, I should say. And I thought, well,
But
PNC
it's
might
covered.
be open
Yeah,
because
it's
we
closed
don't
for sure.
recognize the holiday,
Sure.
and they were closed.
Yeah.
But Landmark was open. That's what they said, anyway. So, and did you have a pretty big crowd on Monday? I mean, because a lot of people are off.
Yeah, I guess I didn't register it one way or the
one
other.
way or
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
Well, I was here yesterday. I stopped in, if anybody cares.
Yeah.
We do.
I borrowed some items.
We all
And
care.
then I did notice the crosswalk. That was one of the first things I noticed.
Wonderful.
And I was like, wow, I feel like $1 million walking in this thing.
You may have been the first person ever. Who knows?
Wow.
I don't even know when they
You mean
came.
he took the red carpet up for you? Wasn't down, and
Yeah,
being president, you
right. That should have just been there, right?
We should have a red carpet. That's fair. Fair statement.
All right. Well, any questions or concerns, thoughts for the director's report? Anybody? No? All right. Well, thank you, Brittany.
Do you have? Sorry.
It's okay.
I always do
Go
this.
ahead.
Do you have something on Facebook about the antique thing that we can share? 'Cause I don't remember seeing anything about that.
Good question. I don't
Because I
know.
remember they said, get your reservations in early because he books up. So I remember reading that. So
But has it happened in the last couple? I can't remember.
yeah, it probably hasn't been recently though.
Okay. And I know that she often schedules things for certain. She tries to limit to 1 or 2 posts a day so that
Right.
too many things don't get buried. So I can't say for sure.
I just don't even recall.
But
seeing it.
if I'll check with her and see when the last time she posted it. Make a
Good.
note.
Is it still true? It might be his last one.
That I don't know.
'Cause that was also, I think, in
That was
the
some-
posting too, that this could be his last one.
When was the last time Antiques posted on Facebook? I will check.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, here. So it was September 30th.
Okay. I will check in
Can
with
people
her.
just come to just watch?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. All right. Good question. I will follow up with our Facebook.
Okay. If nothing else, thank you, Brittany. Unfinished business. No unfinished tonight, but we do have a few items under new business. So let's begin with item 1, a discussion of trustee WLA membership. Brittany.
The Bridges Library System, of which we are a part, has offered kindly to pay for a membership, a trustee membership for each library in the system. And basically that just gives the trustee access to a lot of an online account that has documents and discussions, and you can be on 2 email groups. So like if you're a trustee of a small library, many of them join the small libraries group. If you're a trustee that is really interested in, I'm trying to think of another example off the top of my head. Let's just say fundraising. Maybe there's a fundraising group. So things like that. So they're willing to pay for a trustee. they also paid for a Friends membership for our Friends group. So the question I wanted to bring to the table is, it unfortunately does not have a group account, so it's not something that, we could get one password that you all could just log into. No institutional membership is what I'm trying to say. If I wanted to just open it up to the group of, would you, one, like to take the system up on their offer, and two, you would have to designate someone to be that account holder. And then probably what you'd want to do is at least at some point ask that person to sort of report back on maybe what they've
Did
discovered.
anybody else but me get a postcard?
Gail also received a postcard asking her to
Register or renew, and I'm
Register
like,
or
huh?
renew. And Gail was trying to figure out if she already had a membership, but she didn't.
Yes, I don't have one, and that's
so-
how this all kind of came up. Did anybody else get a postcard?
No, not that I'm aware
Gail,
of.
they targeted you from
Well,
the
unless
list.
I had I was the membership, but I don't think so.
No, because the system never did this before. So
Okay,
unless you
so
paid out
can-
of your own pocket,
No, I don't remember doing it. Doesn't mean I didn't.
so
So
yeah.
I get a postcard.
Is one, do you want to take the system up on that offer? And then two, how would you like to decide, or who wants to do it? How do you want to decide that? That's
I guess I need further explanation about what it is. I'm
Sure.
confused.
yeah. So the Wisconsin Library Association has an online platform. And basically, if you log on, you can see all sorts of like discussion groups or information and posting that's not available to just the general consumer.
And it's about like the systems, all the different libraries, or
Yeah, it's a state organization,
Okay.
so it's not just our system.
Okay.
Anyone in the state who's part of the library group can join. So Friends of the Libraries, they often have accounts because then they can connect with other libraries and other groups throughout the state. Trustees can sign up. Library staff members, like I have an account. You can receive discounts. So if you wanted to go to a WLA conference, you would receive a discount as a member as opposed to a non-member. I think it's probably worth pursuing just to see if it's of value. Like you could do it and just decide, you know what, it was nice of the system to offer, but this is not really something of value to me and our group. But it's probably
How much would the membership typically be?
I think the membership is like $50. So
And they're offering it to us free.
they're paying for it. Yes.
Okay, that's a no-brainer.
yeah.
Hey, that sounds like an incredible opportunity.
I agree. Yeah.
Pass up.
If they're offering,
No
why?
possible.
Right.
Go for it.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so check to that. Yes, we
Yes.
want it. So if there are multiple people interested, we could do put the name in a hat scenario. If someone is just like, you know what, I really, really like library literature and reading about it, then maybe you are the perfect person for this.
I guess I'll bow out.
I'd do it if nobody else is interested.
Yeah,
So it
I'm
sounds
going
like
to
a
pass,
SharePoint
so I was going to say I'll pass out, but that wasn't what I meant to say.
We don't want
Anyone-
you passing out.
Anyone else interested in arm wrestling, Michelle, for the...
Yeah, I'm not tied to it if somebody else is interested.
I say go for it.
All right.
All right.
Game on.
I will be in
Thank
touch
you.
to set you up with that then. Let me make a note of that.
Not
All right.
email links.
So she has to file a big long report at every board meeting, right?
Yep.
Well, if you new category, everybody to be prepared.
I'll be absent.
Because I'm sure everyone here wants the meetings to be longer than they are. All right. Well, that was it for that topic.
All right, very good. Thank you. And thank you, Michelle. Agenda item 2 under new business, another discussion, strategic planning library board focus group.
Is anyone willing to possibly switch these two in the order just so we can resolve the action item? Because the discussion can sometimes go as long as the discussion wants to go, but I want to make sure we take care of if everyone's willing to.
I would.
That's fine.
Do we need a formal vote, or can we
To move the agenda item?
formally agree by consensus that we'll?
Yeah, I think just like this.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, no objections here? We'll just switch the two? Okay. Well, let's proceed to item number 3 then. Action on library hotspot renewal.
All right, that is packet page 19. It is a intense document. It is the same document that you voted on a year ago. Basically, the hotspots, the mobile hotspots that we circulate to the public, have a service agreement. You know, obviously we need to pay for the internet in order for them to work, and this is just us agreeing to those terms of service. You know, they had been reviewed at one point by the attorney, and this is the same document. So
Just a renewal.
Oh,
Yep,
so
just a-
nothing's changed.
nothing has changed.
I think if there was, they'd have lines through there, right?
I would
So I don't see any
imagine.
lines through it.
Yeah.
They usually put red lines through.
And how many hotspots do we have?
We have 5, although one broke, so we have to replace that. But we have 5 hotspots. They are always checked out or on hold. When I was doing strategic planning interviews, I spoke with the high school and I was talking to them about what services they value, and they said one of the values of the hotspots is that, you know, they circulate them right during the school year, but in the summer they can't. So we have those available. So yeah, just looking to renew it. We have the money in the budget set aside. It was something that I had planned for. So it's just us being.
So when one breaks, do they?
First, we should put a motion on the floor whether we're going to, before we do the discussion.
Oh, I got too excited. I always do
There's
that.
a warranty somewhere here.
It's just better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
before,
fair.
good point before we really get into
Yep.
discussing this.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the new updated library hotspot renewal contract.
I'll motion.
Okay, Tracy, thank you. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Michelle, thank you. Now discussion.
I can say from middle school perspective, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have 4 that we check out, and 3 are always checked out, and 1 rotates between some kids. So we
How
could
long
really
do they
use
get
it.
to keep it for?
They have to, we let them keep it Monday through Friday, and then we check in with them each week. And even a little guy was out there when I came in, and they're hooked to one computer, so his Chromebook broke and he had to have a loaner. She said, "Can you put it in?" It's like, "No, we can't put it on your loaners. You have to keep your Chromebook set." So he would be looking for one, and so yeah, they use them a lot.
And the strategic planning committee may know or remember this, but as I was looking through demographic data for the city of Muskego, over 90% of people in this community have a computer, but only 88% have access to internet. Yeah, so that there is some disparity there. So there is still some need.
When you asked about the warranty, it looks like it's just covering the manufacturer's warranty. It gets passed on, so I don't know what that would be.
Oh, okay. I was just curious
Probably
as to if
basic.
something breaks. I mean, is that something then that's usually covered under warranty, or is that something then that's out of pocket expense for us?
For the hotspot, if it breaks, that's out of pocket.
Okay.
But what they did do, which was really nice, they transferred the service that we were paying for on that one to one of the other devices, so that it's not like we were paying for a service that we weren't currently using because we didn't have the
I see.
device. So I appreciated that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering.
Was this the company where none of them were working at first?
So it wasn't
I don't
Mobile
know if it was
Beacon
mobile,
LTE.
If it was mobile hotspots, even I don't remember.
The mobile hotspots hardware, so nothing to do with this company because this is just the service. The batteries were swelling in some of them, and so we had contacted the company and got new hardware. So
It had nothing to do with this.
or I mean, they maybe helped furnish the hotspots, but it had not. This is just the service for the hotspots. The hotspots that we now have are not that brand, so it's not a concern.
But there is something in here on service, quality, and maintenance. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean,
I don't know what it means.
We just got this agreement is very boilerplate and very anti-library,
It's anti-consumer. Yeah.
anti-consumer. So, and then, but yet if they're if they didn't keep up their end of the bargain, then I think there would be some reasons to squawk. Okay,
Yep, no, we're-
But if you're comfortable with them as a vendor, then
Yep,
it's,
we get it highly reduced. They're specific for public service entities like us. So
So did you say that the school district gives your hotspots from the school year to them to do
No.
during the summer?
For the kids.
No,
Or no?
the kids, no, we just loan them out during the school year.
But what happens during the summer?
We just take them back. We
So
don't.
you don't
We
loan
didn't have anyone ask for them over summer, so we've never really.
I suppose we have a
Is
summer
are
school
you-
program maybe, but I can't imagine letting someone not in school having them,
Right.
because you can't monitor everything then.
No, right, but I was just curious, like, if you're paying for that service year-round and no
You
one's
shut it
using them
down.
during the
Right.
summer, then could the library possibly partnership with the school district and have them here so that the students could loan them out over the summer?
No, we could, and I could ask the director because maybe he does shut it
Shut
off for the summer
summertime.
because because
Right.
I don't. He might do that, or so I could find out.
You know, because it's really just a service that you don't have to offer to the community. But if the library has a service to do that, and they just use your, or borrow whatever for the months, and then that gives you 8 instead of 4.
I
you know
think
what
there's a
mean?
big difference in public libraries and public schools. Like we have to monitor and we have to do all kinds of different things where you guys don't have to do.
do you have like
You're only
block?
using it here on site, right, the hotspots?
No, they take them.
They do take them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think because of our students, I think there's different regulations. I don't think they can go back and forth. But I'll check with them and find out.
Yeah, because it would be sort of sad if they were just sitting in a cabinet somewhere not being used. If they could be used with the kids during the summer, that would be kind of a nice service that the library could offer through the district or something.
Yeah, and
Some
it
sort of
might be,
partnership.
because it's a school contract too, it might only be 10 months or 9 months.
Right,
So they
right.
might, so, which
you'd
is
have
very
to check
possible.
inside the contract to see if it prevents the usage aside from you guys.
Right.
Also, they might
Yeah,
not allow it to go to a
Yeah.
third party. I think there's a comment about third party somewhere
Yeah,
in here.
I know we can't.
But I don't remember
let
what it
someone
relates
else
to.
Check them out, because the school entity and the public library are different.
I know I saw that somewhere, but I was starting to doze after about the first paragraph.
Yeah, I was getting wah wah wah.
I know there's something in
Is
here
that
about
what you hear in the
third-party
meetings
usage.
too?
Sometimes. No.
But I guess if we're willing to check,
Yeah,
can't hurt.
we'll find out.
It
Just,
would be a service that we could partner.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
It's a partnership, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes there's
If
always
there's-
just like disconnect from the city to the school to the library. It's like,
It's all the
why
same
can't we-
taxpayer
I know,
place,
we're
yeah.
all paying to the
I
same.
know, I talked to the
pot.
school board on things that the city doesn't want to do, and like, we should be partnering
Yeah,
on these
and
things.
it bothers me that we don't work more hand in hand with
we
one another.
do work with the
Yes,
library,
yes,
though.
I agree.
We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a lot of wonderful things they've gotten for us to have teachers check out special
Yeah.
kids and
Yeah.
coding. So, yeah, we do have a good relationship.
Yeah. We value the school district.
Is anyone concerned about Section 15 we'll be submitting to the laws of the state of Rhode Island?
That's very
Gail,
typical.
any concern?
It's a conflict of laws issue, so I mean, that's very common.
Gail, I was being a major smart aleck.
Major smart aleck.
Let the record show.
You or me?
I was.
Oh.
Does that mean we should move on?
Yeah, we,
Before I
When-
find
when
someone
Aaron
else,
starts
something
to
else
get-
to
and
question.
they're not open on Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever it is now.
Yeah, isn't that
So-
crazy?
I heard it's Indigenous Peoples
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that's
so they wouldn't be
right.
open that day.
Well, you can't support Columbus, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We got statues everywhere in America.
I can't.
When I just drove through Columbus, Wisconsin today, so are they now Indigenous
Yeah.
people, Wisconsin?
Well, on that note, it does sound like we are done talking about this. So
Yeah,
we can have a
we're
maybe.
forever on a recording.
So yes.
Suppose
So
we should keep that in mind.
the motion is out there. So
It is. So at this point, all those in favor of approving this new updated contract for the library hotspot renewal, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Or you thought, hey, I can't go either way on this. This is a little, no abstention.
Controversial.
Okay. All right. Well, that passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. All right. Back to item number 2, discussion, strategic planning library board focus group.
All right. Wait. Okay, there's not an action. I can just start talking, right? I don't want to get excited again.
Yeah, because
You
we're
can
not
start
voting on
talking.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to keep me honest, Gail. Okay, so packet page 16 is the start of the questions. It's just a 2-page list. So this was something that I meant to do in September and forgot. Michelle kindly reminded me. So as I mentioned, we've been talking in strategic planning, starting to look at the data and build the draft. And one of the things that we were very intentional about is making sure that we talked to a variety of stakeholders, and I consider the library board a stakeholder, and certainly you will have an intensive look at the draft at the next meeting, but I also wanted to run a focus group with the board, with you all as the group. And so these questions are the same questions that the other focus groups received, and so what I would ask to keep this focused is that try not to think of yourselves solely as a library board member in this. What I need from you right now is just to sort of answer the questions as a person and as a community member. Now, certainly you have a library board lens to you, but that lens I will need when we look at the draft. So really, I just sort of want your answers to these questions. We don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole of saying, how can we implement this? Should it be added to the plan? Truly, at this point, let's just make it a focus group. Pretend you were invited and, you sat down and you want to answer these questions. And maybe you will have some unique perspective that we haven't gotten yet from the other focus groups. So usually they take about a half an hour. It is 5:33. So here we go. So we're going to, my goal is to try to end it around 6 for the focus group. So, all right. So thank you for coming, focus group. My first question is, which library services are most beneficial to you or your family? And not everyone has to answer every question, obviously, but if there's, something you want to add.
I have 6 kids, so they're here quite often, but it's mainly for just a place to study, because I think they have 6 brothers and sisters and they just need a quiet place to go, to get away. So they do use the library for just studying and focusing on their homework and stuff. So that's probably one of the main reasons why.
Excellent. Thank
For
you.
me, it's I just 9 months ago for the first time started to be part of a book club. So it helps in getting a book for that. And as my granddaughter gets older, I'm excited to be able to have her come and participate with me in the children's area.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that because it's been 8 years since I've had a little one. So, and he's in Florida now. So.
That'll be exciting.
I like the databases.
Any database in particular that you've...
Consumer reports. And I go in and out on that 'cause it depends on what I'm buying. So I'm not like a regular user. So, and then they have TED Talks, I know, but I never get a chance to listen to those. So, that would be another one that I would... What other ones are there? Just,
Gale courses,
Gale courses.
Ancestry.com. Let's see, what else off the top of my head?
because Ancestry.com I'll be using because I just got my back.
So if we do the Ancestry.com through the library, I always forget about that. Is there an additional charge to us?
No.
Seriously, why am I forgetting about that?
Yeah, I know.
That is
We
an
get
awesome
publicized more.
service.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to talk about that part.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
That's an awesome service. I forget.
Yeah, and genealogy has been, I think that there's, some people are falling away from it, but I think there's definitely a resurgence in some respects, a lot with those DNA test kits. Like that's been a very of interest to people, I think.
I love Canopy.
Canopy, yeah, great.
I would have to say for me, the children's services and the YA, they're really great to work with. And the amount of materials you have and how YA keeps up to date, she's pretty good with that.
Yeah.
And I just like that items are free. You don't have to go and, let's say, buy a how-to book. Chances are you're going to find it here or whatever you might need. So, and I talked to one person who said they think they've saved $30,000 over the years with their children and that because of books they haven't bought.
Wow.
So, the fact that it's a big savings and a resource.
For me, in particular, I like to check out a lot of movies. So the movies and CDs once in a while. So I'm still pretty old school, I guess they would call me. So I keep the DVD and the CD area in business. And I don't know, I do use the computers from time to time. So just internet access, databases once in a great while. And occasionally, whenever possible, I like to take in the occasional program.
Ooh, I wanted to add the hot spots too. That's big for us. That's really big.
All right, thank you, everyone. I'm going to move on to the next question, but if something pops in your head that you just, really want to register for that last one, feel free to let me know. This is kind of an odd question. What library services are you aware of but aren't useful to you? And I just want to do a caveat of saying that doesn't mean that you're saying, so if you say, I don't really use the movie collection, that's not you saying movies are garbage or libraries shouldn't hold movies. You're just saying, I'm aware of it, but it's just not something that's useful to me.
The hot spots. I don't even really know how they work, so that doesn't mean I wouldn't use them if I knew how they worked. But
that's a focus group, right? You're going to have a variety of opinions, which is good. That's the strength of a focus group. So, anything else aware of but isn't something that you use?
Well, being a little humorous here on purpose, seeing as how I never have any time these days to read a book cover to cover, I'd have to say books. Who has time for that? You do?
You would go to the stand-up comedy.
Wow.
And along that line, I guess the magazines. I mean, that I don't know how many people come in and read them daily, but for me, that would not be probably
we can
something
pick the
that
That's
I
a good
would
point.
do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a young adult, so,
Sure.
Yeah,
that doesn't, as of right now, I don't have a young adult, so.
That's a good point, the magazines. And do we still have newspapers? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still make them?
Again, not saying they're
That's
bad.
pretty
It's
profitable
just
one thing.
So I guess, though, I would agree with Gail. I tend to forget about them, or they're just kind of not useful or relevant for me.
Yeah. And of course, again, I know this seems like a weird question, but it's useful to me, so I appreciate it.
How about the job service board? Just trying to come up with things for you to put on your list. But I'm sure it's potentially useful to somebody else.
That's what I'm having a hard time with.
Exactly.
It's like-
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to say
this is
hotspots,
not
but
meant for me to
yeah.
start axing things. It's more of a, but yeah.
I would say memory cafe. Is that what it's called?
I'm sorry?
A memory cafe? Is
Well,
that
the
what-
memory cafe is done by the system, so that just
Okay.
happens to. But that that I think
that would
could go
be
on
one.
there. Sure. Because we only do it a couple times. 3 times a year now? Because there's multiple libraries, so.
All right, I'll move on. What area or areas of the library building do you spend the most time in?
This room.
I would tend to agree.
I'm writing it down. That's a legitimate.
You could say the hallway, the entrance,
Yeah.
and then the way back out.
Yeah.
The parking lot, too.
I would say movies and music for me, and then that main drag where like the computer area is for me.
I'd say children's and YA.
Yeah, I guess maybe meeting rooms, like for programs and that kind of thing. I've been in those a number of times.
Yes, I have too.
For me, it's this sounds silly, but it's the lobby area and the walkway. Like I'm always like, what kind of old books are for sale? Like
Yeah.
they're giving away, and like what? And I look at the glass things coming in, like what kind of programs are going
Yes,
on.
that's a good one.
Then I want to go through. I don't know. I look at the puzzles, see
Yeah.
what's going on. I just like the whole like walk. The
Yeah,
lobby
yeah.
area.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Well, I
It's
like to walk through
inviting.
the children's area just because it looks nice and
Yeah,
to see
fun
what's
to
going on if the
explore.
kids are in there.
Okay. How do you currently get information about the library?
Facebook,
Facebook.
Social media.
yeah, social media,
Yep.
Yeah.
notifications
Yeah.
from social media. So
The city, like the Park and Rec, where all the city stuff is in, before it was a booklet that was with the school district, they always had a little thing for
Yep.
the library. I would read that
Yeah, great.
and get my information from there.
I think they're separating them again now.
Yeah, I think you're in the Park and Rec now.
the city.
School and the city are separating again.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Recently? Because the most
no.
recent publication
No, I
was
don't know
city
when it
slash.
We said something, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
No,
I
it
don't know.
is. It's separate, so.
But yeah,
Okay.
keeping this sort of is
The city newsletter.
administration.
Oh, the newsletter?
Yeah, the newsletter's going to be
That was
back in the
stupid.
Park and Rec book. Remember how it used to be at the
yeah,
beginning
yeah.
Sure.
and stuff, so now it's
We
going
put
to
it,
go
yeah, we
back.
put it together a few
But what
years
about
ago.
the separate one we used to get?
That's-
I
I
think
liked when it would be
That's
the
going away.
city
That's
and
going
then
away.
the superintendent
Yeah,
in the
that's
same.
right. Now the
'Cause it
school
seemed
district
like
is
they were-
doing their own pamphlet programming.
You heard me in the last couple of meetings, I keep talking about how unfriendly we are getting as a council, or I shouldn't say as a council, but as the administration presenting to the council. That's been my biggest fight at the meetings. I feel that we're not supporting the community together. I just use the word friendly, so I'm being nice without pointing out anybody or anything.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we're on packet page 17. What do you think makes Muskego special? And I'm not specifically actually asking about the library on this one, but just in general, what do you value about Muskego?
Like it's a lake community.
It still has a small town feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Our school system is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me because I've worked in 2 other districts, and what Muskego does for school district does, it's like, wow, that's amazing.
It
It's
is.
really good.
Yeah,
Taxes.
Okay.
Yeah,
definitely.
in comparison to other communities, our taxes
Definitely.
are reasonable.
We really seem
we
to
can
hold the
change
line well.
Let's not say we did.
We're working on that, but with the road repairs that need to be done.
I know.
We're going to slide by this year again.
I would agree, we still have kind of that small town feel. A slice of Mayberry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neighbors,
Slice of Mayberry.
neighbors.
Neighbors. I've got fabulous
Yeah.
neighbors.
Police department,
I
fire
was
department.
just going to say the police and fire department. I think that they work really well with the people in the community.
Do you think it's coming to a point where fire department will become?
No,
Nope. it
not in
won't.
my opinion, no. But I'm only one of 7 that can make that decision. But
It's
I think we're
a
good.
hard thing to do. I have family on the fire department.
We have the largest volunteer
Yeah.
department in the state, so I think we're pretty well covered.
I think so.
And it's very well funded through the state. I mean, we buy everything for them. They just got to maintain it and take care of their
Yeah.
buildings, and I think they're profitable. And I think the EMT services, it's all hand in hand. I think it's response times are good. I mean, we kept our in-house 911 dispatch, so we didn't send it out to Waukesha. So I think that all goes hand in hand and make the fire department very
Was
successful.
it out in Waukesha at one point in time and then it came back?
I
thought
don't know,
that
that might
it
have been years
was.
ago,
Yeah.
before my time. I think we always did in-house, since I've been
Okay.
on the council.
My question was because my husband's a fireman, and there was something that happened at one of the schools, and it was a long response time. I think initial truck got there in 10 minutes, and then the second in 18. And so it's like, holy cow.
There's one right down the block from you guys, so that something must else been happening.
Yeah, and it was just like, wow, because this
They
is
looked that over,
such-
that's all governed, so that if there's a dispute, that'll have to be,
Yeah.
you know, if there's more than one. Like, look at Milwaukee's closing houses.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you
left
talk about
and right.
response times, they gotta come from other neighborhoods all the way over.
It was during the day because it was school time. I know for a fact, like I said, I've got a son-in-law who is part of and my father-in-law and his dad and whatever. And I know that during the day sometimes it's difficult if they're at their jobs,
Yeah.
and then they get the call and then they have to leave to go to the firehouse if they're not in a job that
Yeah.
is real open to that at certain times.
I
Doesn't
know
make
it-
it right. It doesn't make it right. There's got to be a
No.
better way to do it.
But the cost is
Yeah.
humongous too.
So that's why the
That's
taxes are down.
Right,
Fire
it
department
would
makes a
go.
big difference.
Yeah.
I do like some of the fun stuff that they like the water bug show is always kind of fun to partake in. And
Yeah.
Community events, I guess.
yeah, community events, the jamming on Janesville, and
We have an excellent chamber of commerce.
Families really get excited about it too, and
Yeah.
it comes up at school. Are you going? Are you going?
Yeah.
So even like for football games, it's really
Yeah.
community.
it was kind of
Based.
sad. I was at the last football game, and to look across and see Kettle Moraines visitors, there was nobody there. There wasn't
Wow.
a school
Oh, really?
section. It was so sad. I'm like, not to have any community there to support your team. It's
Same
really
as
is
with Catholic
telling.
Memorial too.
Yeah, I
You're
was-
just like, what's going
Where-
on?
I
And
mean, they're local places.
Right,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they would.
People living in the area here.
Right.
yeah,
I was surprised. Yeah.
Same thing.
I would add, kind of tying into some of these themes already mentioned, our service clubs in general. I think we really have some
The
strong,
Lions Club. And,
yeah, some really strong
Women's
community
club.
service clubs. Yeah, definitely.
We get the Muskego
The Friends of the
Festival
Library.
volunteer, and they do that all year long. you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Friends of the Library too.
Yeah, and like Alderman,
And Culvers.
and like Alderman Wolf said, the festival tying into service clubs.
We can put that all together, all the MAA, I group with senior taxi, I group it all together as, again, one of those friendly issues I keep bringing up in the meetings that we got to stay friendly with, and that's what makes the community safe and clean. I mean, that's another thing, safe and
Absolutely,
clean.
we are very safe and clean.
Right. I mean, our response times for things are, snow plowing, everything is good, so.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So, what do you think Muskego is missing?
Well, we sure as heck don't
Restaurants.
need any more salons or banks or auto parts stores.
Restaurants.
Well, thank you for the editorial.
We're not missing any of those.
Well, you know why the banks come here? There's only one reason.
That's
There's
right.
money here.
There's money here.
So that keeps it safe and clean too. We complain about it, myself,
Yeah.
there's too many, but
But
Good
obviously,
they're
none
here.
of them are shutting down.
No.
So obviously, it's
people are
doing
going in
okay.
there, that's a good
Yeah.
thing. It's, again, safe and clean.
I would say restaurants, definitely.
And that's because of population
Yeah.
and what we've been doing on there is trying to buy businesses in here. We brought a few of them in and helped build them and,
The town
tax
center has
breaks
helped
and
with getting, a couple more things in there, so that's good.
when they get the employees in there, then it gets the restaurants in. 'cause
And
they have to
get
go
more of
somewhere.
a downtown feel, something where there
But of
is
course,
that
we're
downtown
different than
feel.
other communities
We
because
are.
land-wise, it's hard to.
Yep.
How do you put 5, Olive Gardens and everything in a row next to each
Yeah.
other? How do you, can't do it.
I think we need like in the downtown area, it would be nice to just have like a park light setting or some sort of fountain where people could just hang out, have a beer garden, just kind of have like this, feel where you
Because
get
you
to.
don't really know what's the downtown.
Yeah.
There's nothing there really.
Again, that's
Just a
the
common
land
person
restrictions
sits
again,
there. Yeah.
that's the tough part. We looked at that and
Yeah, they've got those new complexes that go up kind of like the Brookfield Commons or Corners, whatever it's called, and all the stores are right there, the restaurants, and
On
then
either
there's
side
the
of the lane?
living,
Bay
the
Shore,
living area,
whatever
and they
it's
have the
called.
the big TV screen out there where the Packer game is on, and you never have to leave if you don't have to go to work. You just never have to leave. Everything is right there.
We don't have the land.
No, I'm not even saying I would want that. I don't think I would want that in Muskego.
Tracy, just to make sure I understand, when you were talking about like are you talking about like a community focal meeting focal
Yeah,
point?
just like a hangout place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
there's
think Oak
enough
Creek just
places
did
for
that.
teens either. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know when my kids were in school, they had the teen center. I don't know if they still do. They still
Once a
do
month.
teens once a month.
I don't
But
even
then-
think it's that much.
No.
I think it's only 4 times a year now.
Oh, did
But
they
it
go
was
down
like
again?
both my kids just really looked forward to that because it was a place for them to go, a safe place.
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
parents, you could drop them off. You knew that there was people there that were going to be watching out. They had fun activities for them to do. I don't know if we offer enough of
Yeah,
that.
I remember my sister really liking and going to teen center years
Yeah,
ago when she was
both
in school.
my kids
Yeah.
loved it, and I
That
would
was the key.
volunteer.
It's
Now,
completely phased out.
Yeah.
this is where they go.
That's teen center.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
The
no,
phone.
that
Just think the
was.
little things you get in trouble for going to those teen centers. Think of all the trouble you get into with these
I
stuff.
know.
This is, I'm going to break my own editorial statement, but we've been doing a teen assessment study because we're hoping to get funds in 2021 to redo the teen area because I think we could improve it, spruce it up, and make it even more inviting. And it's been really interesting to watch the teens and their behavior. We have some new furniture out in the great room, and they've been really gravitating towards the booths and the sectional furniture and things like that.
They love booths.
You
When
have-
you put
you have
them
other-
in, it's the craziest thing. They're just like, yeah. The other
They think
thing,
it's a private space. That's why
Yeah.
they're not used to a real private space.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say one thing they're missing too is sidewalks. The ones where they places they put the sidewalks, it's been huge. When we built the 2 new buildings, the kids' first question was, "Can I ride my bike to school?" And so when they could ride to Muskego Lakes because of the trails, they were thrilled.
So sidewalks and bike friendly options
for kids to.
But we're redoing Hillendale, and they're not going to put a trail in.
They're not gonna
People
do
were
it,
against
no.
it, and I
They're
even
not
said
going to do it?
no. It was voted. I
got voted
voted for
I
it.
said, someone's going to get killed on that road.
I said it's
Yes.
very dangerous. I always said that we should have
It's
trails in front of
terrible.
schools. That's how Bay Lane got in. I was an advocate of that. And I pushed for this one, and it got shot down, I think, 1 or 2 votes.
Was it
Only
community
for it.
members having a problem with their yards being ripped up?
Yes,
and
not in my
stuff
backyard.
like
But
that?
the school also said, you cannot ride your bikes to our school here. I said, what?
Well, you
He
can't
said,
now
you
because
can't
there's
walk
no
to school
trails.
either.
If there was a trail, it would be changed.
If you have a sidewalk, then
Yeah.
you're not rural.
They said even with the trail, you cannot, that's what somebody from the school was there that said that. I was like,
That doesn't make
It
any
used
sense
to be
me.
if you
they don't even
didn't
want
have-
you driving your kid, dropping them off there, they said.
Yeah, they don't have the room. But it used to be if you didn't have sidewalks,
I was took my
a
kid, dropped
certain
them off.
percentage, then you're a rural community,
Right.
and you can't. So that was how it was.
Well, and you
That
don't
still
want
is.
people to be biking to Lake Dunoon.
Right.
It's a rural road with
Right, no.
But if you
Too
had
far out there.
If you see the
bike and walk and do all that to the high school, and it's
Oh, we
not
were
against
big on putting
the,
that in front of the high school.
it's
Yeah.
not.
Lakeview, oh my gosh! If you see the kids out there, it truly is Mayberry
Yeah.
because they've got their fish poles, their bait buckets, and they're going to the lake and right after school. It's really cute, and
Yeah.
I feel some of the kids in town don't get that. But
Yeah.
No, the trails in front of the school is a great idea, I think. Safety
And
factor,
one of the
especially
things that I
at
think
Hillendale.
is missing
That's why
is
Bay Lane, I was.
we don't
forced to have to go
patronize our
because it's
business.
terrible
that's
there.
excellent. The kids
Okay.
love it.
Gail has an interesting point.
We don't patronize our businesses enough.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yes.
I
agree with that.
And part of it, I think, is communication because I didn't know, maybe all of you know, that Board Together has moved down to the old slice cakes. They've got an ice cream
Right.
parlor down there.
Oh, I
It's
had no
really-
idea.
I think because of a liquor license, they moved there. 'cause they
Yeah,
couldn't
and I
get
think
one.
so. If we don't know, we can't go. So part of it, I think, is a lack of communication. But it's not lost on me that the location where Mamma Mia's is in Willow Tree Cafe, and that
Yes,
they couldn't
never make it.
sustain it. I mean,
Right.
what are we doing? Because say we want restaurants, and then we don't patronize them.
Right.
You know what
yeah.
we're doing is go down Janesville Road on the weekend after 9 o'clock, you're the only one out there.
Well,
Yeah.
it is a bedroom
There's
community.
a lot of families,
that's,
I think they don't spend
that's
the money
true.
doing that, so I don't think they're leaving the community to do it, only when they do,
I don't know though,
occasionally.
because we haven't had them for so long. I tend to
Yeah.
work outside the community. It's just a learned behavior, So now that I know that Board Together is there, great, because I try to patronize Muskego businesses, but we also don't know about them in some cases. So I think we don't do the best. I know Jeff Mengel used to do that a lot, let everybody kind of know what was coming in and all that kind of thing. But I think we've kind of dropped the ball on that one. And make a real concerted effort for all of us to patronize our businesses because they're not going to stay otherwise.
So I always try to go here first if I can.
I'm sorry?
That's how I always try to go here. I've
Yeah,
always done it
absolutely.
since I
I
moved
tried
here.
for all different kinds of vendors. It's not just restaurants.
Right.
Do we have a bakery anymore since Slice left?
I don't.
Just a grocery store bakery.
Yeah.
I don't think an individual baker.
Well, we don't.
My understanding is she's doing it out of her home now because the crisis has passed. So
really?
and now you're allowed to do businesses out of your home that are the state is allowing it. I don't know
And
where.
that's
Yeah,
out of, that's
there's
Waterford
no-
or something, right? They're out
I
of the
don't know
area.
where. I don't
I
know
think that's
where
where they
she
originally were from.
Yeah, I don't know where she is, but they had a family emergency, and that's why that was legit. They were
Right, yeah.
their
We
had
business
the
was going
gingerbread
okay.
house.
So
Oh yeah,
that
there you go,
House.
gingerbread.
The parking there's horrific.
Is that
They
we're
were
gonna do
really
Norwood or Muskego?
Yeah, that's true. There's
That's
nothing
the street.
there.
That's Muskego.
Across the street
Is the
is-
get-
And now
right,
she's
okay.
really busy most of the time.
Oh, she
Oh, that's
is
a great-
action packed.
There's
That's a great
a
business there.
student that graduated from the high school, from culinary art school from Waukesha that started her own business. Hers is unbelievably good.
Where
What
is
is
it?
it?
But it's only on Facebook. Like, you
Oh,
only know
oh,
about
okay,
it on
okay.
Facebook.
What is it?
It's called, oh gosh.
A Muskego business, you said? Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, I think she works out of her parents' house or something.
so what is she doing? Like baked goods or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Cakes and.
Oh, the
if I
Mad
should-
Baker? Mad Batter?
No,
Oh.
Drania is her last name. You know the Dranias? You know Maddie Drania? It's her sister.
Okay.
Went a whole different direction.
I was going to say, I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
Your pastry, let's see. Look at her stuff. It's good.
It looks yummy. I watch the Food Network shows a lot where they decorate the cakes, and then a lot of them are home bakers. It's really around the country. So anyway, it's
I'm gonna move on,
So-
but I registered that we don't patronize businesses enough. Okay, what would bring you to the library more?
Food. Oh,
Baked goods.
a restaurant. Open a restaurant here.
More board meetings.
Do you want me to write that down here?
Listen, would you really
Yeah.
show up for them?
Yeah, I'd make the attempt.
I was just thinking the weather's getting worse. I want to make less of them.
I did write
Yeah.
down food. I think that's
No, I
that feels legitimate.
just because we were talking about it.
Yeah.
One of the
I
things
It's
that,
called the Whisk Chick.
oh, that's cute.
That's
The Whisk
That I've always thought of, and we discussed this, I think it was when we were doing the children's area. We don't have a point of difference. Okay, so something that would bring me back regularly, and I don't know what it is, but something where we could say, we've got the biggest children's collection in the area. We've got this, we've got that. That would potentially, we don't ring our bell, and we've said this, many times, and maybe we don't have a bell to ring on this topic, but we really don't have a point of difference. How are we different from New Berlin? How are we different from Oconomowoc?
So you're suggesting like the Oak Creek they have that big train. And it's like
I
something
don't know
they're
what the
known
answer
for.
is, but just something that would be a draw because that would perhaps bring me to the library more. I don't know what it is.
That really helps us stand out.
Yeah.
From the
Really big
competition.
Ferris
And we can
wheel.
pay people to show up.
Stick it in the back, and you'll be good.
But I don't know what
insurance
it would be. I
refund.
was just saying, I've often said, like anything with marketing, if you have that, I'll call it competitive point of difference, although we're not really competitive with one another. And we discussed having like those storefront things in the children's area just because it would be different. It would make us different.
Yeah.
Something different or a point of difference would probably bring me into the library more, depending on what it is.
Maybe a big fish tank with a bunch of muskies. And
What I have been, I'm going to break my own rule again. I kind of want a turtle tank, you guys. It would, and bear with
It's
me on
slow
this.
coming, right? Oh.
Bear with me on this. I would love to create a Muskego habitat. Like, talk to someone local and have it represent, like, mini Muskego, basically. It actually represents, because one of the things we learned in the strategic planning process is that people, when I asked the question, what makes Muskego special, that lake feel, the nature component.
So you will have somebody available to help you with that. Tom from conservation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would.
So I would bring
like-
people back more.
I would like to
because
build
if
a
you're-
habitat.
If the birds lay eggs, the kids will want to come back and watch
Right.
them hatch. And,
Yeah.
so
You have,
something like that I think would be great.
There's a waterway there, but it's covered in. I mean, I would like to bring it
Cattails.
into the library. Yeah, but that's.
Oh, inside the
You should
library.
maybe partnership with like UW Waukesha if they had some sort of like
Yeah,
because so at the Ronald McDonald House they partnership with UWM with their horticulture department,
Yeah.
and so they do all their plants and they have it from A to Z. It's just amazing. Like when you go back behind there, but it's all and they do it for free because it's all part of their schooling.
Yeah.
The students come out and
Yeah.
so maybe like looking into the colleges and see if there's like Harrow College maybe would want to come and
Yeah, so I still have quite a few connections at Carroll, certainly with the biology department and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, I'm heading off in another direction. You will. There are some ideas I've been thinking about because you're right. A focal point, a point of difference is,
well, the one thing recently that I know I talked to you about it that I was kind of bummed about is that we don't have a subscription to the journal.
I was going to follow up with you after the meeting about that. So. We talked to them just to verify. They don't have an institutional subscription just for the journal.
Yeah.
So basically, you can, what we buy a personal copy, and due to state statutes, we're allowed to circulate our newspapers from the library. They have an online account, but there's no institutional way to make it available
That's so
to the
bizarre.
public, except they do offer it through a larger database, and I checked with our system. That database costs $20,000.
Oh, really?
So once upon a time, the system subscribed to this database, but then due to the rising costs, they got rid of it. So I meant to tell you that I did follow up with that.
'Cause I was like, you would. If you go into the fiche, and you would look up old articles from whatever.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
And one of the
that
things
blows my mind.
what I do plan on doing is talking. I don't know if they'll listen, but I will pass along the feedback that if the Journal Sentinel created an institutional membership just for their newspaper, because that database, it's priced out for most individual libraries. You can't afford $20,000 unless your system does it. But I do think it would be a value for them to develop an institutional membership for a local newspaper like that. They're looking for
But they would have to
business.
invest to do it, and do they have the dollars to put out there for it?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the right question, because what they would have to do
There's
is
no return on investment in papers right now.
right. They'd have to be able to interface with our library system, because just like our other databases, you would have to be able to enter your library card to get access
Right.
to the.
Yeah.
So
You're right, though. They should be able to create something for all the libraries.
you'd think it would
And
be.
they're part of USA Today. I mean, kind of the way it's done. You'd think USA Today would have something.
So
Because like back in the day, you would look up old articles all the time.
right.
So now you can't do that
I mean, not
unless you're a subscriber to the newspaper.
because if you think about it, they don't want to be library friendly because they want you and you and you and
That's
you to
exactly
have a
right.
subscription.
All get the individual.
If I have a subscription that I pay for, so that you all can have it, they're in their mind they're making less money, right?
Kind
So-
of like the theory of the CDs and everything too. You pay more for them because they figure they're losing the rental revenues, so they charge libraries more for them. I remember reading about that.
we actually don't pay more. We pay at cost.
Oh, there
for-
was something in the
for
document
CDs.
that said that that's what happened.
At
I
the-
But
don't think they
anyway,
would actually. People might buy into their system, or if they're using it here and saying, "Wow, this has a lot of stuff to offer." Library's not open 24/7,
Yeah.
so maybe now I'd buy a subscription to them. So
They're behind the times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too bad.
they have the technology to do it because I subscribe to the paper and I get an
Digital
online
is out there.
copy
It's
every
just like
day.
it-
I mean, they do. they have the technology to do.
Yeah, but they don't want to.
Hey, as long as you mentioned CDs, just so you know, I heard that albums surpass CDs, vinyl albums in sales.
Really? No
Last
kidding.
Is that right?
So you can go back to
Wow.
Yeah.
vinyl.
Go back even
I'm going to write that down because
Yeah, I
even
heard
though it's not
vinyl's
happening
coming
right
back
now,
in a
it's
major
really
way.
needed, and that's
Players
what we're
for
trying
a
to
while.
assess. What do people want?
Yeah.
Because
Well, players
if
never
enough
left.
libraries go to them and say, we need this,
Right.
they may
Well,
eventually feel
those
pressure to change.
crackles with it.
It just
And I tell them
surprises me.
it's a brand preference thing. If somebody
The only
starts
reason I know
using
that
it,
is I was
maybe they'll
researching
order their
that
own
on albums.
subscription. If they
Right,
don't
that's
use
what
it, they won't order a
It's
subscription.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right now they're-
like even if you
Creates
did it
brand
as a
preference.
trial thing,
But
I don't
anyway.
I mean, some of these albums are going for thousands.
Agreed. Okay, so we have point of difference. We have institutional subscription to newspapers. Anything else that would bring you to the library more?
Perhaps this goes again to marketing and social media and that kind of thing, but I know you let us know about programs, and I don't, you guys are so busy already, but hey, look at the new book we just got in. You know, we just got this bestseller in. Hey, we just got this. Hey, we just got that. And I know you don't like to inundate people.
Well, like a book party, a release party or something.
Yeah, I
Group a couple
don't know
together
again what I'm
every 3
asking
months or
for. I'm
something,
just
you
saying
know.
that because I had been interested a long time ago in Sally Field's book. So if you would have said to me, hey, we just got Sally Field's books on tape in or something like that,
Yeah.
that would bring me into the library to come get it.
Okay, I wrote down
And you
community.
might want to think about putting some stuff on your website and some stuff on social media. I feel like social media is more of a format where, hey, don't forget this is coming or this,
Right.
but then you have that standardized page to go to that has that data that you're kind
So
of looking
check
for.
out our webpage for all the new arrivals. You know, just send that out on
Right,
social
right,
media, something
right.
like that.
Do you have a counter on your website?
Account like a web traffic.
Yeah, so you know
So-
how many are there?
One of the things that I need to talk to our IT department about is website analytics because I don't have a good sense of analytics right now. I know there's a feature on our website that features new items, but if you're not seeing it, that means that it's in an area that
Right.
maybe hasn't.
Well, maybe you got to
shown
move
up.
stuff around once in a while.
But use social media to push it.
Right, I would,
You know,
yeah,
that-
that's what I would do. So you have the
You know, this
standardized
just
format,
in, you know, just
Yeah.
because that
It's
would
kind of like what because
and
we
then
have
a link to the website.
Right, we have like our own business, but we need to hire people every once in a while. So we have our website for our business, and then I just put on social media we're hiring now with a link to the website. You know, so you're just kind of using both formats.
Or you can have Sally Field show up and sign her book, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Author
She can
visits.
stay at my house.
No,
Yeah, author
no,
visits
Sally
would be good.
Fields. I'll make a note of author visits.
no, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, no, I mean,
Well, and the other thing too, have you ever thought about if you're trying to like capture everybody's, and this won't appeal to a lot of people, but like that millennial type feel, having sort of like a person come that plays guitar with the wine and have like saying like a social gathering type thing.
Like a coffee club type
Yeah.
environment.
okay.
Some
Yeah,
sort of
another more
musician
different type of
that's
events, I
just-
guess, would be a good way to say it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so. Thank you.
Have you found that any other libraries are doing some unique events that you haven't seen or heard about?
This I wouldn't call this an event. It's more of a service. But many of our libraries in our system have started circulating zoo passes now, and then people can check out the zoo pass or museum passes.
Really?
Now,
So you can come get the pass and go in free and then
going
come back.
free. Yep. Now, does the zoo like this? No. And so we are very curious as more of libraries in our system get them if they're going to start shutting it down. We've heard rumors that possibly. I was just inquiring today about
Or
getting
about
a zoo
the price,
pass for
one or the
us.
other.
Yeah, there's only one zoo pass per library,
Yeah,
or
and
they're
they-
squawking about one per library.
Well, no. Some libraries get multiple zoo passes.
Oh, they do.
Well, you know,
No.
but they like the people to come in there, so once they're in there, they
That's what I'm
get
saying,
more
it
revenue. It's like
sells,
Summerfest. How many free tickets do they give
yeah.
out?
Well, and
You know.
the zoo passes are so popular. You get it once, you're not going to get it again for a long time because so many people want it. And so, if it previews the zoo for them,
Yeah.
I would
Get
personally
some in.
then
Yeah.
buy my own, because I don't want to rely on the
Oh,
library.
we always
to-
bought the yearly one. It was with the park. It was so you go
Yeah.
2 times and you paid for it. You go to any
Exactly.
zoo anywhere.
So the
the
zoo
country.
charges, they're smart, unlike the Journal, they charge an institutional membership. So, I forgot what my individual membership is, but the I think it's like $500 for an institutional membership. So it would be $500. It would allow 8 people in plus free parking. So anyway, so I'm looking into that because I know other libraries have found it successful so far. In terms of other programs, let me think.
Or events.
or-
Even events. Something that you could actually generate money on, too.
Whitewater did a food truck rally.
Yeah, you
So
mentioned that.
because
yeah.
of the restaurant, a lot of, and you guys actually reflected this, many of the interviews and focus groups that I did showed restaurants as being the something that
Yeah.
Muskego was missing. So I thought that would be a great way.
Oh, yeah.
And it
some
would
of
be
the
a-
restaurants in the area have mobile kitchens, however
Do they
may
really?
be.
Oh, okay.
They could actually even bring things and
Right,
stuff.
yeah. Like Lucky Spitfire had a mobile station at the
Yeah,
festival.
Did that one.
Yeah. I don't.
Mosquito
No, they're
Lakes
opening
had
another
one,
one.
but I
I see
think
Spitfire,
better
right?
advertising.
Maddie's has one.
Spitfire's opening right up.
Yep, right on
Yeah,
Janesville.
That's the same guy?
Spitfire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Lucky
So you're gonna have-
Spitfire
you're gonna have both
from
of them?
Lucky's Bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be a
And
restaurant
then
there.
he just sold the coffee shop. He owned that, but now he sold
The
it.
San Laurel's or whatever?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he
okay.
bought that out too.
Oh, he sold that.
He
So
sold
that's
it to
not
another
Lucky's
to a
Cup.
Muskego family.
Right, because they
Oh,
just
wow.
asked for outdoor.
It's called
Seating.
something
Vintage
Grounds.
I know them.
Yeah.
What's it
yeah.
called?
Vintage Grounds.
Yeah, that's what because we just had them at the meeting.
But it was
and-
Lucky's Cup before, so
I
For
keep.
like a minute.
I want to establish a
Yeah.
relationship with them, then they keep changing
Yeah.
hands. But they're still on my list to go over and
Yeah,
introduce
I think
myself
this
and
new
see.
Well, you better get
I
over
think
there
they're
now.
gonna
Are you trying to
Yeah.
get free coffee?
I'm not. I'm trying to see how I can establish a relationship that would be mutually beneficial to my library patrons and to them.
Why not
You know,
the owner,
like-
if you want an introduction, we can go
You
over
do?
sometime, yeah. She's a friend of friends.
Well,
Done.
actually,
She's a couple book clubs that I've been in. She's
All right.
The libraries are actually starting to put coffee shops inside somehow, separate or.
Well, this is so nice and close, and you utilize what's in the community. I think
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Well, even if they could
Win-win.
put a station in here of some type, a coffee station of some type.
We've explored
We've-
this.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
but it's
even,
the
even
cleaning
pay-per-view,
it.
but even a pay to use one of some type, you know.
Yeah, I've looked at a coffee vending machine and the maintenance on it, and plus
Now,
the
you would
coffee's
have a
gross.
vendor rent a little space out. Have a vendor rent a space out.
Right,
They can
yeah.
have-
It's honestly, if that coffee shop was even a little bit further away,
Yeah.
but they're so
They're so
close.
close.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's a
the-
different environment if they would open up in here.
Yeah, that's true.
But you have an idea too, a kiosk that could be available for them to come in and rent just to highlight this is what I have, then you learn about those
Well, you can
businesses.
sell some coffee out of it.
Well, my first step is to meet the actual owner. So,
All right.
Michelle, I will
Well,
get
let's
in
do
touch
that.
with you about
Yeah, and you
that.
gotta taste the coffee, make sure it's good. So.
See, I love coffee. I drink it like water throughout the day, and so
We got a
had
customer.
we've had these discussions. I'd like to make that the hallmark of
Your legacy. You said you
Yeah.
wanted it to be your
I
legacy.
was thinking
of my
Kiosk
reign.
would be just coffee,
Yeah,
or could
there
it
you
be a
go.
family kiosk?
WISK.
Businesses could come in and rent
Yeah,
it, like,
here, this is her
board
stuff.
together. Bring
I'm
their-
Getting
I'm going to make a note of coffee and let's leave it at that because I
Okay.
don't. We're
Yeah,
we have great
that's
ideas,
a whole
but
other-
Yeah. Yep.
environment.
But I've made a note. Okay.
Oh, it's
Is there
WH.
anything that prevents you from using the library?
No, I'm forced to. I serve
can't.
on the board.
I can't think of. I was reading, these earlier in the day, and it's like,
Yeah, no children anymore. Sorry.
but it still doesn't prevent you. You can still
It
come
does.
here.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And time and
Yeah, time. I was just going to say
Time.
time
Yeah.
for me. I mean, I just don't
When you
have
have
the time
kids
to
and
read.
you show up here more and they made you make the time.
The new library director's a dragon. You don't want to come in.
Well, I think,
Well, we had
arguing with
another one
online
for a little while in
services, they're-
between for a month or
That's
two.
another one that would, because if I can look up online in the interest of time.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
online
gonna do.
services. Yep.
That's a tough thing. You're right, with the internet nowadays, and of course you believe everything on there, so.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important for libraries to continue to expand into the digital space and create those offerings. That's why I was so excited to experiment with Canopy hoopla coming up. It's important. We can't fall behind in that.
I often wonder if you changed the name to Muskego Public Internet Cafe, if it would change things versus just the name library. That, is it because of all of the
market.
the things that people think about libraries? I mean, is that? And I'd never
It would
advocate for
change.
the
It
change,
would change.
but would it be different?
Oh yeah, and I think it'd bring a younger crowd in. You're probably right. You're probably onto something there.
Library and internet cafe, or whatever.
I'm going to put branding and awareness.
And that's a big statement.
Yeah.
It is. That's a whole year of my life, probably.
That's a profession. Hire out professionals.
Yeah. Yes. All right. If you had to tell a friend about the Muskego Public Library, what would you tell them?
That the board meetings are really fun.
Yes.
Noted.
I
And
would
they
say
still
our
have
children's
CDs.
area.
Yeah, we still have CDs and
I would definitely
DVDs.
say our children's area. With the redo on that, that's
The what?
The children's.
Oh, the children's area.
Yeah, I mean that is just so amazing.
And the programming.
And the
I have friends and
programming,
family that come in
yes.
from other districts
Yes.
to come for the
And the fact that there are
the
the rooms to rent, for the different activities, or if wherever you work, if you don't have the space to have different things that they're available for rent.
Yeah, I would agree with everything that's been said so far. I would tell a friend there's plenty of options here or a lot of things to explore. And I always hear great feedback. I think we really, truly are, one of the premier libraries in the area.
I agree.
I think
Plenty to
what's
do
nice-
and see here.
Yeah, I think what's nice too is that you stay current with what's going on. Like when you did the escape rooms, that's a current thing. You did
Yeah.
it. You brought it in
and the
families.
Lego stuff.
Yeah, so that's kind of nice that you're keeping up on the times.
Yeah, I would tell somebody that our library is vastly underutilized by patrons. That there's so much that they don't know, but that's why I really liked, getting into strategic plan for a second, when you talked about a tour for anybody that was new to the library, because then you'd mention the databases, you'd mention all of those kinds of things once they get their library card, or maybe when it's time for somebody to renew their library card.
That's a good point because the tour it takes away the intimidation.
It takes the
what
and
they
it's just so full
not
of
sure about.
information. I mean, they could have a takeaway then. Hey, did you know the library has blah, blah, blah. Because my guess would be is it's underutilized because people don't know what they can do with it. So I love the idea of the tours.
All right. Last question on packet page 18. Is there anything else you would like to say about the library? Things you like, dislike, would like to see changed or improved? And this is just if there was anything that you had always thought of that really didn't get covered with those previous questions.
Well, I'd like to utilize the outdoors more, like the I'll call it the band shell for want of a better. I'd like to perhaps have some outside activities.
Yeah, like get an inflatable screen and do movies, movie nights or something.
And we did look into that. Someone else has an inflatable screen.
The neighbors. Oh, sorry.
Someone.
I
Even
it
part
up
of
in the
Jammin' on
backyard.
Janesville. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily at the moment even need to, but want an expense for one event, I guess. But just something we have all this space that we're not.
I just wonder how big the mosquitoes would be.
Well, that crossed my mind.
I think
yes.
the last time I talked, they tried to do some outdoor story times out there, and they had to put up mosquito torches, and it just the other problem is the AC condenser units back there,
so that
right
could
next
hurt.
to that. It's so noisy that you can't hear the performer.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wrote it down. Outdoor space utilization, inflatable
So a
screen.
sound system around that.
Right. That's sound dampening for outdoor HVAC. Anything else?
It's not fair because we know what's in the strategic plan. So there's some things that I would say, but I kind of know they're already in there.
Yeah, and of
so.
course you'll see and have many more things to talk about and comment on in November. All right. Then thank you, focus group / library board, for your feedback.
Thank you, and thank you, everybody.
In that regard, are you going to now send them the PowerPoint with all your statistics?
I think I would like to show the
That.
PowerPoint at the meeting.
Okay.
I have some graphs and stuff from the data that we collected, and I wanted to show some of those
Some pretty
PowerPoints at the
surprising and
next
amazing
meeting.
stuff.
Really, yeah. And she did a lot of hard work.
Well,
a
and
lot of hard work to get this.
me and the
stuff.
team.
And
So,
the PowerPoint's pretty amazing and very, very interesting.
so, yeah.
I wonder if you did a, kind of like we just did here in the library, had a focus group open to the public.
Oh,
Have
yeah,
you done that?
We did.
Have you-
Yep.
How was that?
Yep. Michelle was at it. That's there were
I started on
about
the board, that's why I'm not talking much, because I
Yeah.
know she has the answers.
yeah there were about 4 or 5 people that showed up to that focus group, the one that was open to the public in the evening, and then I did about 23 other either one-on-one interviews or
Right.
focus groups. And so I talked to 83 people total amongst the focus groups in the
I
interviews.
wonder if you did like Jamming on Janesville, you tried to get people to sign up to come date pick, and
Sure.
tell them there's a focus group and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
As you get people through, if you'd get more people in.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
And you could do possibly just an informal survey on your Facebook page. Hey, you could make the focus group. Could you just fill out these questions? And I wonder if you wouldn't get people to just give their opinions without being.
People are on the Facebook page. Do you even know what your total members
I
are?
don't know. I mean, and I'll show this at the next meeting, but we had 1,400 data points. We had 437 people respond to the survey. We had 83 people talk. I talked to 83 people directly through the focus groups of the interviews.
1634.
1630.
So we did get quite a few responses. I'm happy with the statistical relevance for this.
Equal to.
But moving forward, yeah, it would. The more people we can get, the
Well,
better.
she hit on something too that just got me thinking that you have, if I counted right, 10 questions. So you could do a 5-week social media survey and do 2 questions, or do a 10-week and do 1 question a week.
One question a week. Here's
Yep.
your question of the
And
week.
post it every day as the first thing when they open it up, so that you can,
Yeah.
somebody might
That's a fun
get it and
idea.
do it. And do that for 10
I just
weeks.
feel convenience sake wise, people do this rather than make the effort to come in. Unfortunately, that's just
Yeah,
how it is.
and I think we posted the
I just
link
said,
to
well,
the survey on the
what does it mean or
Facebook page, so
nothing?
hopefully,
I
but
can't-
that one had more than 10 questions
What I think the dilemma is, these questions are so open-ended.
on
Okay.
purpose.
I understand,
Yep.
but we know something about the library, and now you're asking people who don't know as much about the library to say what
I'll
they
throw
like
some-
or don't like.
Throw some
If-
answers on there.
If you put a bunch of things that they could check, they'll also be more willing to do it.
Yes.
Well, but that's the survey, right? The survey had the ability to check and had more directed questions for, the focus groups. That's why we have multiple data collection points, because I didn't want to guide anything. Really, my job, and I didn't do quite as good of a job here because you guys have background, is to not put anything in, not lead anywhere, and just see what might sprout up naturally.
Yeah, I think you'd have a hard time with the open-ended questions, as you're suggesting, Rob, because people are, I hate those when I'm doing a survey, and what else would you do? It's like, give me out of the next question that I can check.
But then I
Well, I just wonder-
don't like the checked ones because it locks me in.
Right.
But if
You
you
know-
put another, then you can write
Well,
something
I
else
just
down,
wonder
I
if
guess.
you-
Yeah.
There's other groups that are on Facebook, like the main page, which is
Yeah.
But you could go on there and say, "Hey, what do you guys think about the library?" Boom!
Yeah.
You're gonna have 20 million comments.
Absolutely.
And
You might
then
not
you
want
get
to hear some of
feedback.
them.
You might, and you probably don't want to hear
Well,
most
but
of
that's,
them.
I mean,
Because
it's
you know
your
what?
feedback.
They're
It's
not
not
all
all
positive.
Facebook is not.
Are you
the
on
place.
any other
No.
social media
Positive.
formats? I mean,
I'm not on
depending
Facebook.
on the age of people,
We have one house in the house. and we use-
age groups.
Right, yeah, Instagram, Snapchat, yeah. We are not, we asked the community about Twitter, and we did not get a lot of responses, which I thought was surprising.
That's interesting because the school district has a lot with Twitter.
We asked them, we said, well, how do you want to hear from us? Nextdoor, texting, Twitter,
Facebook.
I can't remember, and it was texting. They just want everything texted. But anyway, this is all very helpful feedback, and I will write it down. We are done with data collection, though. I mean, you guys were sort of the last. At this
Yeah.
point, we're in the draft writing period, but it's helpful for next time. And not that we have to wait until the next strategic plan to ask for feedback. Maybe in 2 years we just shoot something out to the main network, just do a check-in. How are things going? So
I
it's
mean, I
all
guess
good.
we as a board member could put something out. I mean, it doesn't have to come from the library. It could be just, I want some feedback to bring back to the board. What would your opinion be about the
Yeah.
library? And bam, you could get a bunch of
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Just because people do that online.
Oh, gosh, it's crazy.
Because they're nasty.
Yeah, it can get bad.
It gets bad sometimes, holy cow.
Yeah.
I have to stop reading some of the things sometimes because it's just like.
Don't start. That's my motto. Don't start reading.
All right.
All
There
right.
for hours.
Well, great conversation, everyone. Thank you for your thoughts and contributions. Brittany, thank you for leading this.
Yeah, thank you.
And moving along here, communications and miscellaneous business is authorized by law. I don't have anything. Brittany, anything to add?
Nothing else.
All right. So with that being said, I will entertain a motion for adjournment, please.
And motion?
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Neil, thank you. Any further discussion on the motion to adjourn?
You wanted to get darker out?
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? All right. We are adjourned at 6:26. It would have been 6:25 if I didn't drag it on. I'm
You just
sorry.
stole a minute of your life, everyone. Minute of your life, everyone. Minute of your life, everyone. Minute of your life, everyone.